Would like to call to order the October 15th, 2018 Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. Welcome, everyone. It's good to have everyone with us tonight. We are very pleased to have with us tonight for the presentation of colors the Air Force JROTC from Northwest Cabarrus High School. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Colors. Post. Post. Forward. Arch.
And we are very happy to have with us tonight Pastor Bob Page from Connect Church of Charlotte for our invocation.
Thank you. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come before you tonight with humble hearts, we thank you for our nation, for our great state of North Carolina, for this county of Cabarrus, a great county, and our great leaders, Father, that fear you, and Father, walk before you. And we pray, Father God, they'd make good, godly decisions. Thank you for them walking in integrity and honesty, Father, before you. And we thank you for their servant heart, and we thank you for the servant leadership that they exhibit on a daily basis. Father, we thank you for each person here in Cabarrus County, over 200,000 strong. We ask, Father, that you continue to protect our county, to uphold it, and be with the county leaders, be with the city leaders, be with our law enforcement and first responders, and each one, Father, that seeks to serve you. Oh, God, we pray that you would bless these proceedings tonight and give us peace, your presence, your provision, and most of all, your love. For it is in Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people said, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being with us tonight. Okay, first item on our agenda is the approval or correction of the minutes, and you all have copies of several sets in front of you. Do I hear a motion to approve or correct the minutes as presented?
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move to approval of the agenda, and you also have a copy of that before you. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda, including the changes on page 66?
Move for approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. And we move to recognitions and presentations. We're very happy to have Londa Strong and Brad Allen to make a recognition of North Carolina Senior Games from Active Living and Parks.
Thank you very much. We're going to do something that y'all don't know we were going to do, so you can't stop me now, so I didn't ask. But no, I know you all will be happy with this. Before Brad comes up to make the presentation, I'd like to invite the Sparks cheerleaders to come up. They are the 2017 North Carolina Senior Games state champions, and it was a really big deal because they beat out somebody that I'm not sure that had ever been beaten, and they wanted to do a little cheer for you tonight.
Great.
are so grateful to have a Board of Commissioners that supports senior games. And we support you, which is a good thing because we're very healthy. We're going to live a long time, so we'll be dealing with each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2018. What you got to lose? So put on your sneakers and chase away the blues. There may be snow on the roof, but there's a fire down below. And guess who started it? I think you know. S-P-A-R-K-S, Sparks!
I think that was a great introduction for Brad Allen. Brad is the Executive Director for North Carolina Senior Games, and he is going to make the presentation.
Thank you, Londa. Anything that I have to say, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, is utterly anticlimactic after that presentation.
I would agree.
But, absolutely, and I don't have any of that rhythm. So let's get to the business. I have 3 items from North Carolina Senior Games. Number 1, we do want to invite you, if you have the opportunity in your busy schedules, to visit state finals right here in Cabarrus County this week. We have 600 older athletes and 100 volunteers who are going to be playing pickleball. So if you're in the area and available on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, please stop by Carolina Courts. The second thing that I want to do is to thank you for your support of active aging. You may know that North Carolina has the largest senior games program in this country, and the reason for that is because of grassroots programs like yours, led by Londa Strong and Susan Donaldson and Teresa Kaiser, your folks right here in Cabarrus County. So thank you for your support of them. And we have about 3,000 overall active adults who are going to be at state finals this year. We did have to rearrange some events because of the Hurricane Florence that came through, but we shall not be deterred. And I want to introduce to you some of the state finals participants from Cabarrus County. They're not all here, but they're all worthy of recognition for their healthy lifestyle. So please, let's recognize Kathy Berry, Elizabeth Bennett, Shirley Brewer, Janet Buck, Jeff Hagee, Mary Heron, Marvin Martin, Patricia Martin, Virginia Martin, all those Martins, beautiful, Mally Plowman, Dwayne Rowe, Jennifer Skinner, Londa Strong, Tony Swick, and Earlene Ward. Did I miss any of the Cabarrus County participants? I don't think so. But again, this is the face of active aging, starting right here in Cabarrus County. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. That's a good way to start off the meeting. I think we should have cheerleaders at every commissioners meeting. Thank you. Okay, we're very happy to have Jim Prosser from Central Carolina Council of Government with us tonight for a presentation of a proclamation. Thank you.
Chair, Commissioners, on behalf of the Central Carolina Council of Governments, Central Carolina Workforce Development Board, Central Carolina's Economic Development Commission, and Central Carolina Area and Agency, please accept our gratitude for the support provided by Cabarrus County and the communities of Cabarrus County as we celebrate our 50th year as Council of Governments. Cabarrus County focus on developing and implementing strategies and systems required to meet the needs of current residents as well as future generations sets a high standard for the entire region. Cabarrus County mission statement, America Thrives Here, represents a clear commitment to lead in the areas of economic and workforce development and played a significant role in our region's first growth framework. In 2011, leadership from this region committed to developing a consensus plan that would accommodate population growth projected to double in 40 years within a 14-county bi-state region. At the time, we were the largest region in the country without a growth framework. Guided by leadership that included representation by Cabarrus County government, nonprofits, and businesses an intensive public engagement process, including over 8,500 residents at 450 meetings, built a Connect Our Future regional growth framework. Using scenario planning that applied customized formulas to 1.2 million parcels of coded properties, we were able to visualize impacts of various growth models, ultimately selecting the one that best reflected values expressed by your residents. Connect hardwired linkages between economic development, land use, and quality of life. Connect continues to guide our future strategic investments today with over 70 practical implementation tools in use by our local governments, as well as the development of nationally recognized strategies, including Prosperity for Greater Charlotte Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, our first region-wide freight mobility plan, and our workforce pipeline web portal, Central Line of Career Headlights. Additionally, the rapidly changing face of transportation has prompted work with autonomous and connected vehicles, shared mobility, microtransit, and preparation for our regional transit system. Cabarrus County is also clearly committed to assuring healthy, lifelong communities. Each of these initiatives has benefited significantly from Cabarrus County leadership. All this work relied heavily upon and continues to be supported by leaders including Commissioner and Central Line Executive Board Member Lynn Hsu, Chair Steve Morris, Commissioner Liz Poole, as well as County Manager Mike Downs and Deputy Manager Jonathan Marshall, county staff including Anthony Hodges, Bob Bushy, Londa Strong, and Susan Donaldson. It is increasingly apparent that the systems that support quality of life, including transportation, water resources, lifelong communities, economic and job development, span across county boundaries. Cabarrus County leadership has allowed us to move with a sense of urgency as we support the work of our member communities for building future generations. Please accept this proclamation in honor of these significant contributions to our region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here and appreciate this beautiful framed proclamation with Cabarrus County on it. So thank you very much. Okay, now Manager Mike Downs will recognize some of our employees aiding during Hurricane Florence and the aftermath.
Yeah, Chairman Morrison and Commissioners, as you know, we've got close to 1,200 excellent employees all the way across the board, and we always have some of them going the extra mile, and this is what we want to do tonight, is introduce them to you and to the public through the TV. If Mike Cottle and Tim Gray can come on up. Mike and Tim work in our construction standards department, and as a result of the impact of Hurricane Florence, they went to the eastern part of the state. Mike went to Brunswick County and Duplin County to help out with inspections to try to get some of their damaged facilities back up and running. And Tim went to Onslow County, or the city of Jacksonville, and did the same. So you guys spent about a week there each?
I spent a couple days.
Yeah. Tim had some excellent accommodations, and Mike got to stay in a prison camp, right? Yeah. So he was even better. But these two gentlemen, they're excellent employees here. And I know, Mike, you've been I think both of y'all have been in the past to help out in storms. So they're always quick to volunteer. So we just wanted to thank you and recognize you in front of everybody here. So thanks. And
Thank you both.
We have two more.
Okay.
We have Todd Helm and Phil King. If you guys will come on up. Jimmy, if you want to come up with them, that'd be great. These two gentlemen here, they went to Bladen County and Elizabethtown. I'm not sure if you were in the town or out in the county, but probably all the above. And they took an ambulance down, and they helped to respond as needed and to provide assistance throughout that time. You guys were gone a week, 10 days? Yeah. A little over a week. So, again, thank you for what you did and continue to do here to take care of the citizens of our county as well. Jimmy, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add to that, any gory details?
And this was Phil's third deployment with us for storm aftermath. So wow. It's a common occurrence, and we're very, very glad to be able to assist.
Right. And we appreciate it. And again, it's only a matter of time. that we may need that assistance as well. So it's always good to offer that, and we've always had employees that are more than willing to go and help and serve those other counties as well. And thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate what all four of you do for us every day, and certainly those people influenced or affected by those storms, I know, appreciate it more than they could ever say. So thank you for making us so proud in Cabarrus County. Okay, next we have a proclamation for Red Ribbon Week 2018. This is from the Mecklenburg County Young Marines chapter, and they have requested the board to adopt a proclamation in observation of Red Ribbon Week. They were unable to be with us tonight, so I will read that proclamation. Red Ribbon Week 2018 proclamation. Whereas communities across America have been plagued by the numerous problems associated with illicit drug use and those that traffic in them, and whereas there is hope in winning the war on drugs, and that hope lies in education and drug demand reduction, coupled with the hard work and determination of organizations such as the Mecklenburg County Young Marines of the Marine Corps League to foster a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. And whereas governments and community leaders know that citizen support is one of the most effective tools in the effort to reduce the use of illicit drugs in our communities, and whereas the red ribbon has been chosen as a symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Kiki Camarena, a drug enforcement administrative special agent who was murdered in the line of duty, and represents the belief that one person can make a difference. And whereas the Red Ribbon Campaign was established by Congress in 1988 to encourage a drug-free lifestyle and involvement in drug prevention and reduction efforts. Whereas October 23rd through 31 has been designated National Red Ribbon Week, which encourages Americans to wear a red ribbon to show their support for a drug-free environment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim October 23 through 31 as Red Ribbon Week in Cabarrus County, and urges all citizens to join in this special observance. Do I hear a motion to approve this proclamation as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move to item number 5, which is the Veterans Day proclamation, which I will read as well. Veterans Day 2018. Whereas America was founded on the principles of liberty, opportunity, and justice for all, and whereas America has called on her men and women in uniform to protect our national security, to preserve our rights and freedoms, and keep our democracy safe, and whereas through their steadfast defense of America's ideals, our service members have ensured our country still stands strong, our founding principles still shine, and nations around the world know the blessings of freedom. And whereas on Veterans Day, November 11th, 2018, we recognize the men and women of our armed forces who valiantly defended these values throughout our nation's history. And whereas we also remember and pay tribute to the American Armed Forces whose courage and sacrifice secures our freedom, keeps the peace, and defends our values around the world. Now therefore, the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2018 as National Veterans Day, and call upon our citizens to always remember and honor our veterans and those who continue to serve this country so willingly to preserve the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy for all. So do I hear a motion that we adopt this Veterans Day proclamation?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to make a real quick comment as a veteran, probably the only veteran up here that I know of. And it's a real honor for me to call myself a veteran because I know deep in my heart the camaraderie that veterans have because of what they did, the lives that was given, and, you know, the great price that people paid that we could enjoy what you and I enjoy here tonight. And, you know, it's just a real privilege for me to, you know, to be a part of this Veterans Day.
Thank you, Commissioner Shue. We appreciate your service. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we are happy to have Jonathan Marshall and David Baxter for our next item from Communications and Outreach.
I'm going to ask David Baxter and Jared Glass to come up, but these are some recognitions from the National Association of Telecommunications Officers and Advisors. These awards were given at their national meeting this year in Philadelphia. David's going to make some comments specifically on them, but one of the things I wanted to point out, the awards, we appreciate the recognition, but it's really not why this is being done. Of course, the board has a strategic plan. You set our initiatives. Our departments, through our budget and our performance measurements, then take those initiatives and set their work plans and set their measures and goals to help bring about those plans and those the larger goals that you've set so that we can serve the public properly. And I think as we go through these awards, what you're going to see is that we use Cabarrus County Television and our communication and outreach folks to help increase participation, to let people know more about what's going on, to illuminate some of these initiatives, to talk about some very important issues. So these particular awards, there was an honorable mention for Out and About, which fell under the interview and talk show category. And of course, that's a show that the commissioners do, a talk show that we run on Cabco TV that talks about different partners we have, initiatives that are being undertaken, community goals, and lets people know more about them. It was a third place under the promotion of city-county, which was the Cabarrus County branding video. And that was, of course, very important because we went through a very long process, communication and outreach did, and a very inclusive process to bring folks in and work on both that branding and then those help refine our goals and objectives for the community and have that identity that's very important. There's also a third place under the municipal channel promotion for the Cabco TV promo, and of course that's the larger umbrella for how we publicize and let people know about our services and hopefully bring more people in to use our services. And then finally, a third place under public service announcement, and I think this is one that probably is the most important, and that was the public service announcement that they did addressing the opioid crisis. And that's not just a local issue, that's a statewide, national issue that we know we've experienced here, and there's been a lot of efforts by this Board of Commissioners to help address that and by our staff to address that, and this PSA was part of that. So I'm going to let David talk about the specific awards, but I think it is important to see the big picture and know the awards are great. What's really important is that we're helping people use our services, know about our services, and know about what's going on in the community.
Well, I know it kind of sounds like a broken record every time we get up here, but we would like to, first of all, thank you for your support. Because without your support, you wouldn't be able to, in your emphasis on transparency and communications to all the residents in Cabarrus County, we wouldn't have the ability, the communications outreach team wouldn't have the ability to approach communications in a creative and kind of the most effective way we possibly could. And that is really kind of, you guys give us that opportunity, and you have for years. And we just really want to appreciate that because, the bottom line is the awards are nice, but it's helping the folks know what's available and what they can do and the quality of life that can exist here in Cabarrus County. That's what we're all about, giving that communication and getting that information out there. So what I would like to do is We would like to give you this one for the out and about so you could put it in your offices.
Thank you very much.
And that's about it. All right. Thank you very much.
This is a proclamation of Weatherization Day 2018. Whereas October is National Energy Awareness Month and October 30th is designated as National Weatherization Day, and whereas the County of Cabarrus has a long-standing commitment to conserve its resources and to help low-income households through its Weatherization Assistance Program, and whereas the state of North Carolina has administered the Weatherization Assistance Program since its inception in 1976, providing a variety of state and federal resources through numerous community action agencies, housing authorities, and departments of local government that serve people in every county in the state. And whereas it is important to recognize the importance of those programs to ensure that all residents, especially those living at or below the federal poverty level, have the opportunity to live in energy-efficient, healthy, safe, and comfortable homes as provided by the Weatherization Assistance Program. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim October 30, 2018 as Weatherization Day in Cabarrus County and urge all citizens to join in this observance.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion that we adopt the proclamation as presented? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Wanted to welcome our youth commissioner that's with us tonight, Casey Gardner. It's good to have you with us this evening. And we now move to informal public comments. I do have one, a yellow card from Bishop Roland Jordan.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, Mr. Downing, attorney. We thank God for our attorney. God is going to strengthen him. Just keep that faith. Thank you for the public, our people. I greet you in Jesus' name. Thank you for Veteran Day. I always say some gave and some gave all. The one gave all is dead. That's why we recognize him. There's some that gave some. We still here. Praise God, holding on. But tonight I come before you with maybe something new. I don't know if I asked you before. See, I got a little dimension. 8 hours for our fire department, 8 hours for our sheriff department, if you could work it out, because the men need rest, and they need to take care of their wives. See, in the military, we had to struggle keeping our wife. I've been through 3 of them, so I know how it is. So we're going to try to keep their family happy. If it's a money issue, you know, you got the knowledge and brain. If you can work it out, please do. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is Social Security. Maybe you have input on that. Government. Poor people get $700 for years, food stamps. Something should be done about that. You're going to keep them poor. You know, we want our country to be free, serve, and wealthy. We got wealthy people in Cabarrus County. So let's see, can we help our people out? And that'll be a blessing for all of us, you know. Now, this is a year that our blacks is going to be elected, but they're going to take y'all to vote for them because they for all people, same as the white. Those are going to help us. Our problem, we have people helping us. You make promise to us, but we don't get the resource back. You know, you want how to come to our meetings, you know. And I've been doing the Martin Luther King thing for years, Mr. Downing, about the one I've seen and so forth. Somebody maybe that I didn't know you, but if I know you, I'll come and speak to you. But that's something very important for the public. We're all in this thing together, as well as our Mexicans. We're here for them too, you know, but charity come home first. We should be number second, the white should be number first, but no, it ain't that way. we should be on top, the blacks, because that's what God wants. I want to thank you for your time, and thank you. God bless.
I think that is the only card that I have tonight. So we will move to our consent agenda, and you all have a copy of that before you, which includes items that were previously discussed at our work session 2 weeks ago. Do I hear a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented? Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And we move now to new business. First item is from DHS, fiscal year 20, community transportation grant. And we do have a public hearing. We'll hear some comments from Bob Bushy prior to that.
Good evening. Thank you, Commissioners, for letting me present to you this evening our FY20 Community Transportation Grant from the state of North Carolina. This grant provides funding for administrative costs as well as capital projects. For FY20, we are asking for $166,736 for administrative with a 15% local match, and $126,200 in capital to replace 2 vehicles with a 10% local match. Total funding request of $292,936 with a total local share of $37,632. This does require a public hearing, and then we ask that you accept the grant and adopt the associated resolutions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this does call for a public hearing, so at this time, I'll open the public hearing and invite anyone to the microphone that would like to speak on this matter. Okay, seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Mr. Bushy? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the fiscal year 205311 Community Transportation Administration and Capital Grant and related resolutions. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Thank you very much. Okay, next item is Economic Development Investment Project Griffin, and we are happy to have Samantha Grass with us to talk about that.
Good evening. Samantha Grass, Recruitment Project Manager with Cabarrus Economic Development. Thank you for the opportunity to present the next 4 public hearings for projects Griffin and Meadows. These are not new to you all. We are amending the agreements from the August public hearings that were held to allow for separate agreements for each building that are being proposed. So for the first Griffin, Building 1, Griffin Industrial Realty Incorporated, Project Griffin, is considering constructing 2 industrial spec buildings at the intersection of Poplar Tent Road and International Drive, and the address there is 4530 Poplar Tent Road, and it's a 22-acre site. Building 1 that's being proposed is 147,000 square feet. The projected investment for that first building is $6.6 million in real property. Their investment exceeds the minimum requirements of the Economic Development Grant. The Cabarrus County grant analysis is based on that estimated $6.6 million projected investment. We are asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% economic development grant. The estimated grant for that 3-year term is $121,176. During that same 3-year grant term, the county would net over $21,000. Effective payment of the industrial spec building grant is dependent on the occupancy of a primary manufacturing tenant as its first tenant, or at the discretion of the board if the tenant creates new jobs with higher wages than the current average wage for Cabarrus County. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions for Samantha? Okay, thank you. I'll now open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium that would like to speak on this project. Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, what's your pleasure on this proposal?
I'll make a motion to approve an economic development speculative industrial agreement, 3 years, 85%, between Project Griffin Building 1, Griffin Industrial Realty, and the Cabarrus County, and to authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the board, subject to review and revision by the county attorney.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I think as Samantha mentioned, we had approved this project previously as a lump, 2 buildings, and now we're breaking it apart. So I don't guess we can count this twice. But, you know, as we frequently discuss, we have an unimproved piece of property out there that we're able to have this project occur that will, on day one, will increase the tax revenues to the county, and hopefully if the manufacturing tenant, as Samantha mentioned, is secured, then we will have additional jobs for Cabarrus County residents and all of the other benefits that go with it. So it's certainly something that we're very fortunate to have available to us. Are there any other comments? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we move to the next item, which is Project Griffin Building Number 2.
So again, this is Griffin Industrial Realty, Project Griffin Building 2. Again, the intersection of Poplar Tent Road and International Drive address is 4530 Poplar Tent Road, 22-acre site. So Building 2 is a 136,500 square foot building, and the projected investment for building number 2 is $6.2 million. Their investment exceeds the minimum requirements of the economic development grant. Cabarrus County grant analysis is based on that estimated $6.2 million projected investment. We are again asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% grant. The estimated grant for that 3-year term is $113,832. During that same term, the county would net over $20,000. Effective payment of the industrial spec building grant is dependent on the occupancy of a primary manufacturing tenant as its first tenant, or at the discretion of the board if the tenant creates new jobs with higher wages than the current county average wage. Again, I'll answer any questions you have.
Okay. Any questions for Samantha? Okay, we'll open the public hearing and invite anyone to the microphone that would like to speak in regards to this project. Okay, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. And what would be your pleasure on this one, Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve an economic development speculative industrial agreement, 3 years, 85%, between Project Griffin Building 2, Griffin Industrial Realty, and Cabarrus County, and to authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the board, subject to review or revision by the county attorney.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any additional discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we move to item 4, which is Project Meadows Building 1. And we welcome Samantha back to the mic.
So Project Meadows Building 1, Fortius Richardson LLC, is considering constructing 2 industrial spec buildings at 700 Pitt School Road in Concord. The first building that we'll be looking at tonight will be 112,000 square feet. They are projecting an investment of $5.9 million in real property for Building 1. Their investment exceeds the minimum requirements of the economic development grant. The Cabarrus County grant analysis is based on that $5.9 million projected investment. We are asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% economic development grant. The estimated grant for that 3-year term is $108,324. During that same grant term, the county would net over $19,000. Effective payment of the industrial spec building grant is dependent on the occupancy of a primary manufacturing tenant as its first tenant, or at the discretion of the Cabarrus Board of Commissioners if the tenant creates new jobs with higher wages than the average wage of Cabarrus County at that time. I will answer any questions you have.
Any questions?
Samantha, this one's not tied to manufacturing or distribution, is that right? Or it was?
It is.
Which
It's
one?
contingent on it being a manufacturing operation.
I
Yes,
know
sir.
we discussed it, but
Yes, sir.
either I didn't hear you or I forgot.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we'll open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium that would like to speak on this matter. Okay, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. And Commissioners, how would you act on this one?
I'll make a motion to approve an economic development speculative industrial agreement, 3 years, 85%, between Project Meadows Building 1, Fortis Richardson LLC, and Cabarrus County, and to authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the board, subject to review or revision by the county attorney.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we welcome Samantha back for project number 4.
This is the last one. So this is Project Meadows Building 2. Again, Fortis Richardson LLC is considering constructing 2 industrial spec buildings at 700 Pitt School Road in Concord. Their second building that they are planning to do is 80,000 square feet. The projected investment for Building 2 is $4 million real property. Their investment exceeds the minimum requirements of the Economic Development Grant. The Cabarrus County grant analysis is based on the estimated $4 million projected investment. We are asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% economic development grant. The estimated grant for the 3-year term is $73,440. During that same grant term, the county would net over $12,000. Effective payment of the industrial spec building grant is dependent on the occupancy of a primary manufacturing tenant as its first tenant or at the discretion of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners if the tenant creates new jobs with higher wages than the current county average wage. Answer any questions that you have.
Questions for Samantha? Okay, thank you. We'll now open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium to speak on this matter. Okay, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an economic development speculative industrial agreement, 3 years, 85%, between Project Meadows Building Number 2, Fortis Richardson LLC, and Cabarrus County, and to authorize the county manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the board, subject to review or revision by the county attorney.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And that motion passes. And we move now to planning and development. We're happy to have Susie Morris to talk with us about some proposed text amendments.
Good evening. The first amendment that we have is an amendment to the flood damage prevention ordinance. As we discussed at the work session, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety pushes out a model ordinance to anyone that participates in the NFIP program in North Carolina, which is the National Flood Insurance Program. Cabarrus County does participate in that program. So we need to adopt the updated ordinance as well as our new maps, which will be effective November 16th of 2018. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. For the most part, our ordinance stays the same. It's just incorporating some things that were related to accessory structures and tanks are really the basic differences between this and what we had.
Great. Okay, any questions for Ms. Morris? Okay, and this does call for a public hearing. So at this time, I'll open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium that would like to speak on this text amendment. Okay, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve text 2018-00002, proposed text amendment to Chapter 16 of the Cabarrus County Development Ordinance, adoption of new FEMA firm maps dated November 16th, 2018, and adoption of the consistency statement. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and Susie will now talk with us about some additional text amendments.
The next amendment that we have is text amendment 2008-03. This is proposed amendments to Chapter 10 and Chapter 14. The amendment to Chapter 10 would allow some additional flexibility for roads that are in between parking lots. It would allow the fire marshal's regulation to be used if they can show the fire marshal's office that it is still safe to do so. And with Chapter 14, that is dealing with nonconformities, and it's a proposed amendment to allow additional time for structures destroyed by natural causes to rebuild. If you remember, we talked about moving the starting date to building permitting instead of it having to actually be completed within a year. So that is an 18-month time frame now. They would need to pull a building permit within that 18 months. The second part of that, text amendment 4, is a proposed amendment to Chapter 2 and Chapter 7. These two work together. Chapter 2 amends the rules of construction and definitions. They're proposed amendments to accessory structure and accessory dwelling unit. And then Chapter 7, performance-based standards, would be amended for accessory structures, again, to allow additional flexibility and for the potential for lots to be developed or to have additional structures where maybe there wasn't that opportunity in the past.
Okay, questions for Susie?
I think you said this several times, but all of these changes are just making it more flexible for our citizens to be able to do certain things, correct?
Correct, and recognizing that change that we've had in the overall size of houses in Cabarrus County so that accessory dwelling structures can continue to grow in scale with those residential structures.
Okay, this does call for a public hearing, so at this time I'll open the public hearing and invite anyone to the podium that would like to speak. Okay, hearing no one, we'll close the public hearing. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to adopt text 2018-00003, text 2018-00004, amendments to Chapter 2, Chapter 7, Chapter 10, Chapter 14, and consistency statement.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I will say that I know of one situation here in the county that this, particularly the rebuilding after a natural disaster, presented an issue for some folks, and we were able to work around it, I think. But this does improve things for folks that get caught in that situation. Okay, if there's no further discussion, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we move now to appointments to boards and committees. First up, we have Early Childhood Task Force Advisory Board. Waynette Taylor has submitted an application to serve on the Early Childhood Task Force Advisory Board. Ms. Taylor has an educational background and an occupation in early childhood that would benefit this board. She is also a resident of Guilford County. An exception to the residency provision of the appointment policy will be needed for her. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to appoint Waynette Taylor to the Early Childhood Task Force Advisory Board for a 4-year term ending October 31st, 2022, including an exception to the residency provision of the appointment policy. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. We move now to appointments to the Library Board of Trustees to fill a vacancy for a Kannapolis representative on the Library Board of Trustees with a term of 3 years. Library Director Emery Ortiz recommends the appointment of Diane Browder Boswell. Ms. Browder Boswell has a Ph.D., an extensive career in special education, as well as involvement with Opportunity House to assist with services to homeless individuals, which makes her an ideal library trustee in alignment with current library initiatives. So I would, at this time, entertain a motion to appoint Diane Browder Boswell to the Library Board of Trustees for a 3-year term ending October 31st, 2021.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we move now to Human Services Advisory Board. Ann Holland has resigned from her position on the Human Services Advisory Board. It is requested to remove her name from the roster. A letter of recommendation is included in the agenda to fill Ms. Holland's unexpired term. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to remove Ann Holland from the Human Services Advisory Board roster and thank her for her service. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and I would now entertain a motion to appoint LaSharie Rogers to the Human Services Advisory Board to complete an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2019.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes, and we move now to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. Tressie McLean Hickey, Area Mental Health Director Designee, and Dean Vernon, Sheriff Designee, representatives have resigned from their positions on the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council. It is requested to remove their names from the roster. At the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council's September meeting, the council voted to recommend Noel Thomas Lester to fill the vacant Area Mental Health Director Designee position, Larry Brian Heights to fill the vacant Sheriff Designee position, and Chase Carey to fill the vacant Student Under 18 position for the Cabarrus County Schools position. A letter of recommendation in this regard is included in the agenda. Ms. Thomas Lester is a resident of Mecklenburg County. An exception to the residency provision of the appointment policy will be needed for her. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to remove Tressie McLean Hickey and Dean Vernon from the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council roster and thank them for their service. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. I would then entertain a motion to appoint Larry Brian Heights to the JCPC as the Sheriff Designee Representative for an unexpired term ending September 30th, 2020.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. I would now entertain a motion to appoint Noel Thomas Lester to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council as the Area Mental Health Director Designee Representative for a 2-year term ending September 30th, 2020, and an exception to the residency provision of the appointment policy.
Move for approval. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. And I would now entertain a motion to appoint Chase Carey to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council as the Student Under 18 Cabarrus County Schools representative for a 2-year term ending June 30th, 2020.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. That motion passes. We now move to reports for informational purposes. First off, from the Board of Commissioners, are there any updates from commission members who serve as liaisons to municipalities or on various boards or committees?
Yes, I would, the group who did the cheer in the beginning, I am the liaison to the Senior Advisory Council, and we meet at the Senior Center. And the energy that you saw here, triple that, and that's about what goes on there. So if you are out there and you are looking for a great place to find events that are constantly going on, October 15th through the end of December today, they passed out 2 full pages, front and back, of activities that are going on throughout, including everything from a shopping trip, a ladies' night out, a Halloween party, a 5K run, a Christmas party, a veterans luncheon, and the list goes on. So I would encourage you to check that out if you are looking for some good, fun entertainment and
Very good.
fellowship.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Okay, I will mention, as we just made appointments to a number of boards, we always have openings on various county boards and committees. We encourage folks to fill out an application if you're willing to serve on those boards. Those are available on our website and also through the county manager's office from our clerk. We move now to general comments by board members. Commissioner Kiger.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to offer a very special welcome to a special guest that we have. My mother, Beth Kiger, is here tonight from Charleston. Thank you very much for being here. We love having you in Cabarrus County.
Great. Welcome, Ms. Kiger. We're glad to have you with us. We certainly appreciate you sharing your son with us. And we might warn you that most people, when they come to visit Cabarrus County, they tend to stay. So we would welcome you if you made that choice as well. But it's good to have you with us. Okay, any other comments? Okay, we do have, yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, my church is a collection site for Operation Christmas Child, which is a ministry that sends shoeboxes filled with school supplies, hygiene items, and toys to orphans and underprivileged children around the world. And National Collection Week for those boxes is November 12th through the 19th. And my church is a collection site for those boxes. Pitts Baptist Church, 140 Pitts School Road.
Okay, thank you very much. That's certainly a worthwhile project. We do have need of a closed session tonight, so at this time I would entertain a motion that we go into closed session for discussions of pending litigation, economic development, and acquisition of real property.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. We're now in closed session. Thank you.